Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for March 22nd through 26th, 2021. Wow, what a powerful week of astrology. We might just be looking at a completely different world by the end of this week, the end of this month. It's interesting how these astrological patterns, last month it happened that way too. It was like in January, it was like, okay, here's this energy of February. And then it was just, and then March completely different, right? So the astrology of the end of March is so busy, so dynamic, and so beautiful. The lining up that's happening. So let's talk it through. The main thing we're feeling right now is the Sun and Venus coming closer and closer together. They're less than 1 degree apart, and they're moving into their exact conjunction this week, starting on the 24th, on Wednesday. And they will be together for 4 days with exact conjunction at 3 to 6 degrees Aries. Then they're going to move on and conjunct Chiron, still be very close for Chiron conjunction at 8 degrees. So that's going to happen on the 29th. And that's an interesting energy because it's that end of the month and kind of this very powerful message for us because the Sun and Venus together is super activating. They're together for 3 weeks. It's the first time they've been together since last spring when the Venus retrograde happened. And so it's this beautiful coming together, finding each other, being blessed with the blessings of this world. When are we going to see that this whole agenda is about interrupting and interfering with the blessings of our connection, of our humanity, of our access to life force? And so this is the week, if you would like to step out of this lower matrix, like not that you might not be going there to interact with people and kind of putting your hand out. This is part of what's going on, right? We're reaching out our hand to souls that might want to make the leap into a different reality, a different possibility, a different timeline. But this week for you is about a magic door and slipping through that door and establishing yourself in your better reality. Then we need to come together and anchor in that reality. We can't do that when we're all alone and isolated. This is what's really going on. Everything on an esoteric level right now is about preventing our spiritual activation, our light body activation, our birthright of spiritual revelation. And I have to say, it's been held back for so long. And when it does come back, it's going to come back in a flood. And is that where we are? So incredibly beautiful energy with Sun, Venus coming together. And in Aries, the very beginning of Aries, 3 degrees to 6 degrees, it's about creating something new, creation energy. It's about grabbing back our life force, which is interesting because it's speaking to the feminine side of ourselves, which has been cast aside, demonized, cut into pieces, labeled with all these archetypes, right? And it's really about the healing and the love and the compassion that can move our evolution forward. And the absconders that came in are using fear and control. So there you go. There's your timeline. If you're going to vibrate at fear and you want, give me more control, give me the vax, give me more rules, tell me what to do. And you want to live in fear? Great. If you want to live in love, let's go. And so this is our opportunity right now, this empowerment, because the female, we all have masculine and feminine within us, right? But the female body has more direct access to this life force simply because they can have the machinery to make a baby, right? And so what this is, astrology is saying, is that we've got to claim back our life force. And that's exactly the wounds of Chiron and Aries. The wounds of Chiron and Aries is like where you haven't been able to be who you really are, where the feminine in all of us hasn't been able to have that full expression of life force and creation energy. because we've been told for thousands of years and lifetimes that it's not ours to have. Something wrong and bad, or we don't deserve it. We got to earn it back. And this is like, the alchemy of this astrology is breaking a spell, is what it feels like. If you want it, if you want the magic door. And so the Chiron, Sun, Venus, Chiron at the end of the month there on the 29th, we'll start to feel that influence later this week. But this is about this fight for life, a fight for the life force. This is about the feminine and all of us being like, I want my full expression. I want to fully live and stop with the whole like half alive, half dead on the way to death, like ant farm that this lower matrix is. So incredibly intense energy, but also freeing, right? Aries wants freedom more than anything. And that's part of the wounds of Aries. It's like when you've chosen your path, your way, then you couldn't have love, or you couldn't have fit into society, or you were exiled, right? It's like, okay, sure, go your own way, but you're going to be alone. And I have to tell you right now that this is the biggest lie that the supernova souls need to deal with. And in our whole world, there's so many aware and awake souls that are so present right now, feeling so alone, like there's nobody around them. This is a deliberate program. And maybe that's one of the keys with this astrology, because we are heading into this Libra full moon happening this weekend. And so the Libra full moon is about, okay, so Libra and Aries, of course, are opposite. And Aries is about me, my life force. I am, strength, power, movement, action. And then Libra is like, well, let's work together. Let's make it work for everybody. Let's find the harmony. Let's find the peace. And these are at odds, And yeah, it's like, can't we have both? Can't we have harmonious relationships and perfect balance of the masculine and feminine and our empowerment? They go together. Your personal empowerment and the empowered relationship go together. But the old style paradigm relationship is that you have to give something up in order to be loved. It's give and take. You got to wrestle over who wins and like who, and all this, taking each other's energy. And it's like, this is the birth of this new relationship, innovative relationship. And this Libra full moon is saying, this is how we move our evolution forward. It's how we take back our joy. It's how we create our new reality. We are finding that perfect balance, claiming harmony, and the perfect balance between the masculine and the feminine within ourselves, and then in our world. And that together, when you got the access to life force and the perfect balance of masculine and feminine. So there's huge messages here. And the Libra full moon is like throwing people together. It's kind of like, okay, enough, you guys. We're going to get you over all of your blocks so you can start co-creating. You got to start working together with your team, with your partner, with your lover, with your community of like-minded. I mean, not like-minded isn't the right word, but are you so sick and tired of seeing clearly and being surrounded by delusion? Now, this is exactly what's going on, because this astrology, there's these beautiful, beautiful things happening. And then there's the tension as well. And when you have the squares and tension and you have positive transits, it creates this, it's like pushing you into receiving the new and receiving the good, receiving the next chapter, right? And so super dynamic, and we want to take full advantage of it. Mercury is coming into square with the nodes, and we're starting to feel that in the next couple of days. And that's going to be through the end of the week, right up to that full moon in Libra. And so Mercury, the sun did this, Venus did this, and now Mercury's doing this. Neptune square the nodes for the last 4 or 5 months of total upside down, inside out reality. And we're still confused. So Mercury square the nodes is still trying to figure out, especially after that retrograde in Aquarius, like it's almost more confused. You know how sometimes you go to find answers and you find more questions. And this is Mercury right now. Mercury's going, oh my God, it's almost like this delusional made up movie reality versus the golden age of Aquarius of what we're trying to move into just are not reconciling, you know? And so this is the energy, but this is the thing. So Pisces has this energy of grand delusion, right? It's like the play, like you can't tell what's real. It's got an energy of like mind control, groupthink, using the energy of collective consciousness to control consciousness. But there's also this magical energy of Pisces of like that you can create your own dream, your own reality. You can use your imagination. And this is why we're having this juxtaposition of energies right now. It's giving us an opportunity to claim our own world, our way right here in our psyche, and start finding the people that can be there with you and meet you there and get to work by claiming your reality in each moment. And so anyway, Mercury in that square with the nodes coming up into a conjunction with Neptune. And that's at 21 degrees. Neptune's at 21 degrees. And this is a powerful energy because Jupiter is this is the magic door right now. We got all kinds of keyholes happening and stuff, but like this, Jupiter just came on yesterday on the 21st. Jupiter moved to 21 degrees Aquarius. Neptune moved to 21 degrees Pisces. Has not been to 21 degrees Pisces. Only made it to 20 last year. So this semi-sextile, one sign apart, saying, hey, we're going to create a portal here. We're going to step through, and magic, Jupiter, Neptune. And it's almost like now we can take the benefit of the whole last couple of years of astrology, of sorting through all we've sorted through, and now claim the prize. And so this whole week, Jupiter and Neptune are both at 21 degrees, and it's got this energy of 2 and 1 is 3, right? And so it's 1, 2, 3, or 3, 2, 1, maybe. There's all this energy of 3, 2, 1, go. Like it's time for a big change, a new start, new direction, new life, new paradigm. And are you going to let yourself relax enough to step through that magic door? And so that's really powerful. And so that's part of the positive transits, the miracle transits that are supporting us. The other one is Mars in trine to Saturn. That was exact yesterday. And we're going to feel that through this week as well. And Mars in Gemini, air signs, this is about bigger possibilities, greater understanding, more information, more vibration coming in, and Saturn in Aquarius trying to figure out how to build in this new world. And Mars says, I got it. I know. I figured it out. Mars always wants to lead the way, be the winner, the warrior. But in this case, he is, because he's coming up into a conjunction with the North Node of the Moon. And this is go time. The North Node is like, how are we going to get where we're going? And Mars is like, yeah, come on, let's do it. And so it's saying in Gemini that how we get to where we're going is the empowered voice of humanity, communication, the leaders. There's these enlightened leaders, you guys, the supernova souls waiting in the wings to demonstrate how to move over into this new reality. And this is a massive activation. So it's interesting because there's like sweet energy, tension energy. There's anxiety coming up around the pressure you might be feeling of this bigger self, this bigger path that you know is there. It's trying to land with this North Node, Mars North Node. Destiny is calling you. And then we've got the anxiety that comes natural, that's programmed into our reality around when we access more life force energy, the Kundalini awakening, the Shakti awakening that's happening on the planet with the Sun Venus. And so we've got this myriad of emotions, and that fits this Mercury square the nodes because it's all mutable signs, and Mars is coming into square with Mercury. So Mars North Node square Mercury, and Mercury square the North Node, South Node, so mutable T-square, and it's all about adjusting the adjustments and being flexible that we need to make, and that's perfect. It's almost like really all year and for a couple of years we've been feeling going back and forth between multiple dimensional realities, but it's almost like minute to minute right now. And it's like it's almost like silly putty, your psyche is getting totally worked in a good way. And of course, the Pisces bloom is giving us this opportunity to drop all the old stories, everything, all the painful stories, all the painful patterns, the traumas, and drop those and get back into the magic of life. The world is designed right now, the manifest world, the 3D matrix is designed to keep pulling you back into low vibrational feelings. That's the one point. It's so simple. And yet we are so gullible. And you try to avoid it, you come across, and it's like they want you to feel bad about the world the way it is. Guess what? This is all God's play. So let's go ahead and play with God. Let's step out. Let's use the magic door. You don't belong here. You never have. Stop trying to fit in. And this is the Aquarius energy, and Aries activation of like, I want life in my life again. Screw you and your paradigm, the power here is so intense. So that Mars square Saturn, it's a harmonious thing. This is harmonized. All we need to do is get our voice back. And maybe our voice isn't necessarily going and trying to tell people truth that they want to believe lies. It's like, that's not serving us. That's pulling us back down the lower matrix. But empowered voice is your permission to be in your spiritual truth that you've been hiding, protecting, compensating, trying to make it through. And now it's like standing in that righteous truth. This is this Mars North Node, Gemini, in square to Mercury, though. It's like, well, how do we have an empowered voice when we don't even know what reality is? It's like changing minute to minute and where am I? What am I doing? But this is the magic. And so what's happening, the backdrop of what's happening, of course, we still have this Saturn square Uranus. They've come off of their exact, they're more 2 degrees apart now, Saturn square Uranus. The effect of this transit, they won't go back to exact square, but we're going to feel it all the way into July. So this is this chapter we're in, and that backdrop of this other square that's Saturn square Uranus, and Saturn, the manifest reality in Aquarius. How do we do this? Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, and Taurus in the physical fixed sign. And so it's like, and bringing up everything that's the core issue of everything that's holding back our whole evolution, which is where humanity bought into the fact that they were something less than and needed to earn or deserve and be good enough for God. And this astrology is like, you are God consciousness. It's right there inside of you. And we know this, physics has proven it to be true. When are we going to start living that truth? And this is what we're being asked to do right now. In each moment of every day, whenever you just of like claiming like hope, possibility, love, light, healing. This is my world. This is my world. This is my reality. And when you're doing that and you're sending out these waves of vibration that are interrupting, this is a Uranus, it's like interrupting the patterns. You are such a challenge to the matrix. No wonder it's been so hard for you, And but right now, between Saturn and Aquarius and the North Node and Mars in Gemini, we have all of those signs have planets between 8 and 13 degrees. And it's a star pattern in the sky. So it's like one in each sign, right? It creates a flower of life pattern. And when you see this pattern, this means it's a very activating time. It's like about our light body. It's about activating into our full potential, our true spiritual potential that they've been trying to hide from us this whole time, So we've got this so we got really 2 dynamic squares with Mercury, Mars square the nodes, confusion. Where are we going? I can't sort out this reality. It's because you haven't been able to let go of the painful stories of the past, and you haven't been able to claim the magic of the moment. And then we've got Saturn square Uranus. The ground is shifting under our feet. We haven't seen the manifest changes of this energy, but we can feel the matrix is dissolving. The house of cards is falling. And so those are the squares. Then we've got that sweet trine with Mars and Saturn. And then this star pattern creates sextiles and semi-sextiles, which is 2 signs apart, 1 sign apart. And it's that those are very harmonious transits, minor, but very harmonious. And so it's like this magic gateway is being formed. And then put on top of it, Jupiter, one of those semi-sextiles, or the separate semi-sextile at 21 degrees. So all these other planets are between 8, 12, 13. Jupiter and Neptune at 21, making the semi-sextile, saying, hey, here's your doorway out. Here's your magic door. You don't have to wait for anything to change in the world. That has nothing to do with you right now. You're here to create life and reality anew each moment, which is also the same thing as claiming back your life force. So really, really powerful energy this week of this 3, 2, 1, go, step through, do it, claim back your life force, claim back your voice, claim back our reality, claim back the magic. And it's almost like this tipping point where there's enough souls on the planet that have been able to sustain a higher vibrational joy and hope to break the matrix, And so it's interesting because these transits, like I said, they go all the way to the end, a lot of them to the end of the month, and that there's kind of a marker there. So we'll just see what this is like. I'm so glad we're here together, and so much information today. Sorry, that was really heavy in numbers and planets and everything, but it's like just so much going on. And we haven't had astrology like this, maybe ever, but in a very long time, this whole 2020, we haven't had this star pattern really show up. And it's like, okay, what are you here for? Are you here to live? Or are you here to die? Are you here for this timeline, that timeline? You got to pick a lane and choose your life force, which is choosing your reality. And let this astrology work for you, right? So I can't wait to connect with you again. And I wonder, let me know how you're doing in these dynamic times. Sit tight, breathe. You got this. This is a big message coming through for supernova souls. Like, I know you're flailing because this world doesn't support you, like the old paradigm. It just doesn't support who you are. It's working against you, designed specifically to work against you as an advanced soul. But the message is that, like, when this activation energy happens and then that subtle anxiety comes up, programming, fear programming, it's like you have to remember the message is that you're fully prepared for this. This has been your problem. You know exactly what to do. There's a bigger part of you that's like, you know exactly what's going on and you're fully prepared and you've done the work. Now you got to receive, you got to step through, the lower matrix, like the bad news and the, depressing world is one thing. And then we have our own personal bad news problems, that we've been keep looping. Right. And you have to go like, oh yeah, no, I'm going to put my attention over here. No, I'm putting my attention over here. Venus and the sun. Let's celebrate life force. And that's your sacred work right now. So I look forward to seeing you soon. Look out for that full moon activation. That's going to be on Sunday, the 28th. And full moon in Libra. Are you ready to co-create? Are you ready to find each other and get to work? You've been doing it all alone. wondering why you can't get anywhere. And you're not alone. There's so many people. This is the thing, like, we're all wondering, like, when are these painful truths going to come out and when do we get on with this, right? Because this is a pantomime reality and it's so disgusting and gross and lies upon lies upon lies, right? That's where you need to be true. And but also there's this message that, like, there's so many people that know the truth, it cannot go back under the rug. That's why we're stuck here. You can't put it back under the rug. Too many people know. So it's a strange, uncomfortable crossroads of reality. And that's where you got to slip through and establish. And you're going to feel, it feels so much better, right? So that's where you got to give yourself permission for that higher vibrational frequency and let the love and the light back in. So step through that magic door. Let's do it together. And I look forward to seeing you maybe on that full moon activation and on the next update. Have a wonderful week. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.